What's going on, everybody? Doug here, one of the hosts, producers, and creators of the Genre of Your Life podcast, bringing you all a review roundup episode this week. No full episode of the Genre of Your Life podcast this week, but this week, on this special review roundup episode, I am joined once again by the lovely and wonderful Zayda Sulzer. Welcome back, Zayda, to the show. Your third time, our third returning guest. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. You've seen a lot of movies recently. I'm very impressed with you. You were kind of like on this little streak of movies, going to our local cinema.
Yeah, I'm
our
coming
local
for
Regal.
your brand.
I know you are, and you're having a podcast now. You're blowing up too. So watch out, everybody. The new podcaster on the streets, as we say. As always, guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, as well as YouTube Music. It's a full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Please rate and review the show. You know, we're doing a giveaway right now. Amazon gift card with a 5 mystery bundle of movie posters for all our Apple Podcast listeners. So go to Apple Podcasts, leave the rating, leave the 5-star rating, leave a review. Again, our goal is to hit 200 by May 1st, so help us make our dreams come true. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. All right, Zayda, on this week's review roundup episode, you and I saw a movie that we're pretty very happy about, but like we liked a lot.
Yeah.
Which is first off, we're A24's, which is Love Lies Bleeding, starring Kristen Stewart and also Katie O'Brien. The new A24 joint, which I think it was getting a lot of kind of buzz and acclaim a few weeks ago, and then kind of just went away, like unfortunately most A24 films I think nowadays. But we saw this movie on Tuesday, hearing good things about it. You know, in my after reaction, I said that the trailers really had me intrigued when I saw the Iron Claw back in December. I like the marketing didn't show too much, but I'll have you go first. So you saw this movie with me on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. What'd you think?
I really liked it. I thought Kristen Stewart was kind of the star. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the other girl's name?
Katie O'Brien.
Has she been in other stuff? I'm not.
Yes, she was in Mandalorian. Mandalorian. She's in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What's really cool, the day after we saw the movie, Tom Cruise casted her in Mission Impossible 8, which is pretty cool.
Oh, so she's been in a lot of like action movies kind of vibes.
Her main two things were Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Mandalorian. They're kind of like minor to somewhat supporting characters.
Does she look jacked like that?
Yeah.
Seriously?
She was huge in Ant-Man. She was like kicking ass. She was like buff. And Mandalorian, she's more like a officer kind of thingy. So her I guess her filmography is Love Lies Bleeding, Mandalorian, Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania, Sweet Girl, a lot of television, Magnum P.I., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Rookie, Westworld, Black Lightning, Walking Dead. So yeah, a lot of television. She's in Tosh Point. I love that show. It's hilarious. So a lot of
she's going to be in Twisters.
Oh, really? I cannot wait for Twisters. But that was kind of cool that, you know, we were watching the movie the next day, all the headlines were, Katie O'Brien's going to be joining Mission Impossible 8. And I was like, oh, good for her. She was really good in Love Lies Bleeding. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I thought she was great. I guess I haven't really seen her in anything else because I didn't watch The Mandalorian or the Ant-Man.
So Ant-Man the Wasp is terrible.
After the first Ant-Man, I haven't seen anything.
Not missing much.
But she was like, I really liked her. I thought she, like, her body was insane, obviously, but she was like a really like dynamic character too. And yeah, I loved Kristen Stewart in it. I am a lifelong Kristen Stewart lover since I loved Twilight.
Represent.
And I thought she did amazing in it too. I thought the vibes, like what was it like? Was it in the 70s or the 80s? So
that's one thing, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. That's one thing I kind of had an issue with was like, I don't have a major issue with, but from time to time, like when I don't know. You couldn't
tell what it was?
Like, you couldn't tell what time period we're in. I mean, you could, but like when we don't establish what year or time period we're in or where we are location wise, it kind of bothers me a bit. I don't know why. It's been maybe since like film school. I've been like, why are we not showing what year we're in, what part of town it is? I mean, I told you like on the news thing, I think we were near Albuquerque or New Mexico, but like it wasn't confirmed. I thought it was Arizona at one point because they're going to Vegas, how close Vegas is to Arizona, but I think it was Albuquerque or near Albuquerque.
Right.
But no timeline kind of what we were.
That didn't bother me. I feel like it kind of like the point was kind of like it was like a nothing like kind of town
Yeah.
And, she was stuck there. Kristen Stewart was kind of like stuck there, and you find out later because... Are we spoiling or no spoilers?
We knew. How about non-spoilers now? By the end, we knew spoilers. So we knew our non-spoiler in the front, and then spoilers in the party in the back. We do spoilers at the end.
Well, just like her reason for being there.
Right.
It is her sister, which I don't think that's a spoiler. But I that didn't bother me. That's interesting. I feel like it was the kind of... I think if it was too like, we are in New Mexico during the 80s, like it would kind of like maybe take away from it, because that wasn't really the point. Like the scene setting wasn't really the point of it. It was more like I think it was definitely like a character driven story.
Oh no, for sure. No, again, it wasn't like a huge like, oh my gosh. I do kind of like some kind of establishment to them sometimes. Like there's movies that I love that you don't know like what year it is. Like a lot of Coen Brothers movies or Fincher films, you don't really know what year we're in because they establish it. But I still kind of like the establishment of like at least like the year that we're in.
I think it had to be the 80s, right? Because isn't that
100%.
when bodybuilding like became like a big thing?
Yeah, and that's why I think. I mean, yes, the movie also it wasn't relying on nostalgia, like how I praised Lisa Frankenstein for the same thing. Look on one new Coke, or
Right.
look at this. I mean, there were some subtle things of like in like the town that they were in, like kind of remind you of the '80s, but wasn't like over your head like Stranger Things. Look, they're watching Back to the Future.
Right.
They're watching
It was more
Pretty Woman.
like, at the end of the day, it was more like about a tumultuous love story.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really about like what time period
No.
was in. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Kristen Stewart, like from the beginning, was listening to a like a podcast. I guess it wasn't a podcast, like a
audio tape,
audio book or something
like that,
about like quitting smoking, and like the whole movie she's like trying to quit smoking and she never can. It was kind of silly.
like the whole time. Some characters are like, "Oh, you're still smoking?
Yeah.
Thought you quit." And it's like, oh, okay.
A lot of crazy stuff happens. Like it is like just like it is like at its core like a romance between these two women, but also like a lot of shit goes down, and I thought it was fun. Like I thought it kind of had the same vibe of like maybe not to the same crazy level, but kind of like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of vibe.
Oh, nice. Okay, good comparison.
Just like, stuff you're not expecting, all the twists and turns, especially like at the end, which I know you didn't love.
Yeah, that's something that I said in my theater reaction too. So for the most part, this movie reminded me a lot of the movie Pain and Gain, which I know was more like a dark comedy about the Sun Gym game from the Miami in the 95. How like these bodybuilders in Miami, were poor, they were desperate, so they robbed this guy and they tortured him, and they thought he was dead. Took all his stuff, all his assets or whatever, and they robbed him. And then he was still alive, and they got hungry again because they were running out of the money, so they went to go kill another person, whatever. And the movie's more like it's kind of like glorifying these guys a little bit in a way, but like it's still a very good movie with The Rock and Anthony Mackie and Mark Wahlberg. But it had the vibe of this movie a lot. This one was more serious and Love Lies. It's also a mix of David Fincher films, like a little bit of kind of The Killer, Zodiac, a little bit kind of like early Fincher movies, a little bit of Fight Club in a way. More like kind of like Seven, or like the dark kind of grittiness of it all. With like Coen Brothers, they did like Fargo and No Country for Old Men and True Grit, like that kind of vibe of like in the desert, kind of just like revenge and love and kind of just like vengeance in a way. So the whole time I'm like, oh, it reminds me a lot of Coen Brothers too. But like, also kind of the Safdie brothers too, like Good Time and Uncut Gems, like the music, kind of like the techno, kind of just like music to it all.
Yeah.
So and to your point too, Z, good point. A little bit of a Tarantino kind of vibe as well. A little bit of Once Upon Hollywood, or a little bit Reservoir Dogs.
But it's sapphic, which was the best part.
Yeah. And another thing too is that I didn't know this the director, Rose Glass, before making this movie. But she did a movie that people said that was kind of weird. Was that Saint Maud?
Oh.
And people were saying like, yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste. I remember seeing the trailer for it. I think it was in London. And I was like, yeah, no interest.
I haven't seen it.
Heard it very like disturbing. It's very like graphic and disturbing. But I did like not knowing her work before seeing this. To now like she's on my radar now, like filmmakers to watch out for.
Yeah, I don't think this wasn't like too disturbing. Like,
oh no,
the one scene.
It's graphic, yeah.
That was like pretty graphic, like in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say. But like I don't know, it was kind of like it wasn't like distasteful, like where it's like too much gore. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like
It moved.
yeah.
It moved. The pace. It knew its pace, and it went. Like it went.
Yeah.
It wasn't like look at this thing. Like it went. There was some slow stuff in the beginning. That was kind of like okay, were we more establishing stuff? But once it went, like it was going, and until the end, you're like okay, this is it, and then just the way it goes. But you brought up the ending. Yeah, the ending to me, I don't know. It got a little too like. Maybe not ambitious, but a little too like, okay. I think you were saying something really cool, like you had a really cool like setup, but like the payoff was kind of just like I like the end, like the final scene was kind of very Coen Brothers esque, but the ending itself of like the reveal, I was kind of like, okay. I was like, this is getting a little too have itself right here.
I think that was its A24-ness
Yes,
of it.
yes,
like
absolutely.
where it's kind of bending like what's real and what's like not, or like what's like I guess like magical almost, like magical realism. And it doesn't necessarily mean that like that was real, like that was really happening, or maybe it was, and whatever, you kind of have to just like you suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It didn't bother me that scene happened. This one scene that we're talking about at the very end, I thought it was kind of silly, kind of fun, and the overall vibe of the movie it wasn't like it was serious, but also like there was like an undertone of like I don't know, like not serious, and that kind of like tied it up in a bow, kind of with the non-seriousness of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and this is, I mean, the ending to me, you made a great point, exactly. It's the A24-ness of it all. Because watching that scene reminded me of watching a movie that you despise, which is Beau Was Afraid. At the ending, I was like, okay, what?
No.
Yes, with the again, this is Beau Was Afraid, a year later, spoilers, with the giant dick monster. I was like, okay.
I literally blacked out because I don't even remember.
No, Zayda hated this movie. Go back to our A24 episode where I kind of like I told everyone like what Zayda's like point of view of the movie was. It wasn't a good movie. Not the first half was like okay, it's pretty good. Then the scene with the house and the paint, I was like I'm out. But the ending to me, I was like okay, what? Even with a movie like Under the Skin, which I don't really care for either, with Charles Johansson. The ending, like okay, you had me, and the ending kind of just went, look at this, and you're just like, oh.
I don't think it was that detrimental. I thought it was a little silly, and then it was like, okay, bye, like whatever, like who cares? Like I don't think I've watched movies that are like so good, and then the end is like, oh my god, that made me hate the movie.
Yeah.
This did not. Like
no. I didn't say like I hated it,
Yeah.
but I still like the movie a lot.
I don't think it wrecked the movie.
It didn't wreck me entirely, but the ending I was kind of like, oh man, I wish it went. The ending for me wasn't just like, oh man, like it didn't work for me. It kind of took me out of the movie for a little bit, where I was like, oh no. But then the ending was kind of like how the movie ended. The last scene, I was like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
But the certain decision that she made, I was like, it's giving me a little, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
literally like looked at me in the movie theater.
And I was like, what? And actually, I done a lot of movies where like when there was a Joker reveal in Batman, I was like, another one? Where it's like, I'm not afraid to be like, oh, come on.
Right.
But yeah, it didn't take away a point where I was like, this movie sucks, I'm out of here. Like, no, I still like the movie a lot. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Same.
Very high review. But it just, to me, I was like, man, I know. You had me, and then that I was like,
Okay.
It's A24.
You're
It's
not,
A24.
You're not a fantasy girly like I am.
Harry Potter.
Okay, well.
Harry Potter. I mean, what you call superheroes? That's more. I guess more like more different. I guess comic book fantasy. I guess, but
because I can like suspend my disbelief.
Oh, I can too.
And
I can too.
Whatever. We both give it 4 stars. There is like, if you guys are on Letterboxd, there's so many funny things. People are comparing her.
Tell yours. Do yours. Yours was funny.
Well, isn't that kind of like a spoiler?
All right. So again, we're gonna do spoilers right now. So you haven't seen this movie yet, or you want to wait till like after come back in this part. But right now, spoilers. Right now, spoilers, and I'll tell you when the spoilers are done. Yeah, the whole movie, she's on roid rage, basically. She's, on the roids. She's on the juices loose.
Yeah.
And the ending basically is like when her...
Jackie is.
Jackie. And I'll tell you what, too. I actually like Ed Harris a lot in this. Ed Harris, to me, is a great actor. He put the dad. Because he also in Pain and Gain, too.
When he ate a bug.
Yeah, I was like, in my popcorn, I was like, yeah, I'm putting this down. I felt kind of sick. I was like, no.
The crunch.
But Ed Harris to me is a phenomenal actor, and it's funny seeing him do another bodybuilding movie after Pain and Gain. Because in Pain and Gain, he played the private eye that kind of took the guys down, and it was kind of funny seeing him in another bodybuilding movie. But he's playing kind of like redneck, like hick, kind of just like almost like mob boss kind of thing. And I love the use of red. The use of red was really cool of the movie, like the blood, and it's like the red at the beginning, the red with like the scene, the flashback scene with like her and him going. Like the use of red was really cool throughout.
The color.
The color, yes. It was a really red movie. Like the A24 logo was red at the beginning of the movie too. I was like, oh, this is cool. The use of red is very prominent throughout the entire movie, and they stuck with it. It was like, look, these flashing colors. They used it a lot. So, but you were saying about Letterboxd?
Just they're really funny. Like someone said, these are the muscles of a killer, Bella.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And
good thread.
Basically, yeah. So what we were like alluding to, what Doug didn't like, was that there's like this like fighting like debacle like at the very end, and the Jackie like comes to her like full power being on like steroids, and she becomes like really big, like huge, like what, like Godzilla vibe?
Yeah, she like when Ant-Man kind of like does his thing and goes like the huge giant man or whatever, and I was like,
and she's
what?
like towering over, and she like takes like, you know, like the bad guy, and like it was just like out of nowhere, because there was really no like fantasy like elements at all through the movie. Like it was pretty like, it was like just a really like realistic movie, I guess.
It was a revenge-soaked love story. That's what I said.
Oh, a revenge-soaked love story. Yeah. So she basically turns into She-Hulk. That's like what it is.
It was She-Hulk.
And we watched She-Hulk together, and like we kind of low-key like hate watched it, because at first it was kind of good, because we were like, oh, like
the first episode was great.
Like we love like a feminine like Marvel girly like whatever, and I don't even know like why like I was into it, and then like we just like kept watching, and it just got so like downhill and just like horrible and just like cringy that like I would like be like, oh damn, we have to watch She-Hulk. Like it was, but anyways, she literally turned into She-Hulk, and everyone's saying that like that she is like
it's the A24 version of She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah.
You know, reminded me of that last scene, reminded me of? Remember in Shrek 2 when the gingerbread man gets like really big? And that's what they remind me of.
Literally.
And I was like, I need a hero. I was like, this is what it's given right now. Yeah, the She-Hulk thing. I was like, I was better than She-Hulk, the actual movie. This is what She-Hulk wanted to be.
Yeah, this is all we needed from She-Hulk. Like, actually. Yeah.
Should have hired her, because she's huge already. She's fucking this jacked.
But I don't think that should turn anyone off. Like, the whole movie was really good. And just the end, it was like kind of silly, kind of funny. Like, ha ha ha. And then it was like, at the end, she was like still smoking a cigarette.
She smelled my cigs.
Funny.
It's I mean, I'm glad because our local theater was being pulled this week, so it's been out for a couple of weeks and it wasn't doing well. And I think, because again, if you haven't gone to the movies in the past couple of months, you probably wouldn't have seen the marketing for this. I mean, A24 really believes in their movies with like social media posts and Instagram and TikTok stuff, but you didn't really see a lot of like TV spots or like Instagram ads for it, or I mean, you basically only saw it if you went to the movies the past couple months. I remember seeing the trailer for it at Iron Claw, which I love the Iron Claw. And I think we saw something else we saw the trailer for. I think it was either maybe Poor Things or something. But it just, I feel like there was no marketing for this movie. And I think same with Iron Claw. The Iron Claw came and went. And it just kind of like, all right. And I don't know, it's more of an A24 thing, I think, nowadays. Like, unless it's like a Moonlight or like
But I feel like there's like a lot more visibility on A24, because I feel like they're like pumping them out.
Oh yeah, because they have a really profitable system and they work. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like in terms of marketing, they kind of pick and choose what they want to like promote. A lot like Past Lives would promote the hell out of Past Lives. Again, it hurts really good, but like stuff like an Iron Claw or a mid '90s or the movies that I absolutely love. Again, Uncut Gems, a Moonlight, Lady Bird. Those were really kind of pushed out. Everything everywhere all at once. They kind of pick what they kind of believe in terms of like marketing and kind of pushing it out there. While this one wasn't, I think, the same kind of love I did with like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, Justice
yeah.
for Kristen. This kind of sums it up. This person said, killing men, kissing women, ladies being crazy. What more can you ask for?
That's your perfect movie.
Literally.
That's your perfect movie. I think, and now Zeke can disagree with me on this, but I think this is Kristen Stewart's best performance of what I've seen her in thus far. I loved her in Adventureland, which is a very underrated movie. But I think from what I've seen her as an actress, I think this is her best performance. Mm-hmm. And I give her a lot of praise. I think people were like, "Oh, Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson can act." These people can act. They got a lot of shit for Twilight. But again, when people had like, "Oh my god, he's gonna play Batman."
Oh yeah, no. I don't think
act.
they say that anymore. Especially since she did Spencer. I don't think that's really
that was great. Yeah.
a thing anymore. Yeah, she can act. We love them. Excited to see Mission Impossible. Is that what
I'm looking for it. Yeah, man. Because I think Tom Cruise knows how to get cast. Not you and Tom Cruise don't have the best relationship, but I think he knows how to cast like really like good young talent, i.e. Rebecca Ferguson. Before she got blew up, before like Dune and Greatest Showman. I think with her too, Vanessa Kirby, who now is Miss Visible Woman in Fantastic Four. Like he knows how to cast young, good talent. Or look at Top Gun. All those kind of actors now kind of like really big now. I mean, Miles Teller was pretty big at the time, but like
he had a resurgence. He was
yes.
like the YA king, like
yeah.
Because he was like in Divergent, and then that movie that I don't like that you like.
The Now.
Spectacular Now.
Love that movie.
And then like after Top Gun, I feel like he kind of had a resurgence. And people think he's hot.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember watching him in like 21 and Over, that movie, that awkward moment. Anything Glenn Powell. I love Glenn Powell since.
Oh yeah, Glenn Powell too.
Everybody wants it. I love that movie. No one saw it, but
right.
Me and Sebastian.
He's super big now too.
But like that, I think Tom Cruise knows how to cast like really young upcoming talent.
I'll give him that. Well, you can give Tom Cruise that.
And someone on Twitter said, literally, or X, whatever it's called now. Someone said, "How much you want to bet Tom Cruise?" Because Tom Cruise sees every movie too. That he was sitting in that theater. He goes, "I want her. I want her to be my movie," because he knows how to cast, catch talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing her in Mission Impossible. Given that she's fucking just jacked, she's gonna probably kick some ass.
Yeah.
As a good person or a bad or villain, I'm cool. I want to see her.
Yeah.
I want to see her in Mission Impossible. So I'm looking forward to seeing that now.
Slay.
So yeah, 4 out of 5 for sure. Or
yeah. I said 4.
Or again, for me, 4 out of 5. I'll give it 8 out of 10 was my rating. So same thing.
Oh, I do the letterbox scale because that's the legit scale.
I know.
4 out of 5 star for me.
Respect. All right, so yeah, all spoilers have now concluded for Love and Lies Bleeding. But yeah, if you can see it, check it out. Again, too, I forgot to say this in my theater reaction. Support original filmmaking. A24 really is one of the last few studios and companies to like really, champion original filmmaking. And in an era right now, like we're still seeing the big budget stuff. Or I mean, this could have been a streaming movie too, but I'm really glad that A24 is still investing in original, lower budget filmmaking to give like filmmakers a chance, as well kind of highlighting new talent, upcoming talent like Katie O'Brien or Rose Glass, whatever. That giving them the platform to like give young filmmakers or new filmmakers a chance to kind of like tell their stories on the big screen. So if you see it before it leaves theaters, definitely go see it. If not, wait for it on streaming. But if you can, I think it's worth full price of admission.
That's a good segue for Immaculate because that's original.
Yeah, I saw this movie. Everyone's raving about this movie.
Too. So I guess like the story, I don't really know it exactly. I don't want to butcher it, but she being Miss Sweeney, like auditioned for this movie like a long time ago, and it like didn't get made, and then she like has been like maybe like she like I don't know, what do you do, like buy the rights to it or something? She like basically like tried to like went back like thinking like, oh, that script was so good, like I can't believe that didn't get made, and she basically like ended up like producing it herself and
bought the option,
like really like was a big advocate for it getting made, which I think is cool. When like actors are, I don't know, like not that they have to be more than an actor, but like she's just like a creative. Well,
look at to your point. Sorry to cut you off real quick. Look at Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn. Like Margot Robbie loved Harley Quinn. She was like, I'm gonna produce my own Harley Quinn movies. Like I'm gonna get like the film to do it, whatever. And she did. And then obviously now they changed guards. Or good example with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was smart because no one wanted to make Deadpool, and he believed in. He got the option for it. He wrote the movie too. He championed for it, and he kind of like brought it to life too. So good for her for doing the same thing of like, hey, I believe in this movie. I want to produce it. Like you championed it to like have the make it happen actually.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. And it was I mean, I feel like I'm harder on horror movies just because I've seen so many. So I feel like my rating scale of like just like a regular movie, like the one we just reviewed, like I feel like my scale is like a little bit more skewed when it's horror. But it was good. I really liked it. I saw it in theaters with my friend Maddie. And we were literally the only people in the theater. So it was a little spooky because I was like, is it scarier that there's
awesome.
no one in the theater with us? And she was like, no, it'd be scary if there was just one person else. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be kind of spooky. Like, then they sit right behind you. But this one had good jumps. Like, just from the trailer, I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna be scared. Mm-hmm. And like, we both were like reacting. Like, it's like a good horror movie when like you're reacting. Like, I was like pulling my knees to my chest, and like I was like, I can't look. Like putting my hand over my face.
The visual reaction, right?
Yeah, totally like visual reactions. There was blood and gore, religious themes. Basically, the whole thing is like, she is an American nun. And she leaves America and comes to Italy, which it was actually filmed in Italy.
Cool.
And
location, I love that.
And the settings is beautiful. Like they must have legit filmed in like real churches.
Like on location.
Which, well, they were in Italy, and I feel like I don't know how that works because there's just like one Sabrina Carpenter is like a singer, and she filmed one of her music videos in like an actual church,
nice.
And like she got like flamed for it.
Why?
And so. Well, I don't know. It's like it's not like godly or whatever, but so I wonder like how I feel like they're not looser in Italy like to film like a horror movie in it, but I don't know. Whatever. I'd be interesting to know like how they made it.
Seth Rogen threw up in a church the night before.
Yeah.
But I see your point.
But it was just really beautiful imagery. Like there's like this like image where she's like in this veil and she kind of looks like Mary, and it's just like so pretty. The church was like gorgeous. But yeah, she basically comes to Italy. That's where it starts. Like she's like at like the customs or whatever, like entering the country, and she just has like one suitcase, and she like she like comes in to the big church, and she doesn't know Italian, so like everyone's like talking to her in Italian, and she's like and like someone on
see
I literally live for Letterboxd, and so it was like one thing she wasn't going to ever do is learn Italian. But it's good. Just basically, like, some stuff goes down, some sussy stuff, and it's very spooky. And the end is wild. Like, talk about, like, a crazy ending. That has, like, an insane ending.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it like, oh, shit. Like, it was like...
You would... I thought of your, like, what your reaction would have been, and you would have been like, what the hell?
I can't... As you probably know something on the podcast already, but everyone knows this. I can't watch anything too disturbing. I can't watch anything too, like... I think I'm scarred from seeing movies like Green Inferno or Cabin Fever by like Eli Roth, where I'm just like, oh no, where I'm just like, no, thank you. Where I can do horror like Barbarian, I can do stuff like Smile, I can do stuff like
Smile's not scary.
Not scary, but I can do stuff like that, or like The Conjuring, stuff like that, or most of Blumhouse stuff, the good ones that is. But I can't do things like I can't do cannibal stuff. I can't do like people peeling off skin and stuff. I can't. I'm out.
Oh yeah. There is a scene where she like rips off her finger.
Oh no.
I don't like that stuff either. That's why like
I can't.
Like the Saw movies.
Nope, exactly. Yeah.
I don't love the Saw movies.
No,
I don't like stuff like that. I just don't. I'm just not as scared as you.
No, I liked horror. As I said last time on the podcast you were on, I love horror a lot more thanks to you because you showed me a lot more horror movies. I was looking at horror more like towards the end of like college, like It's. I love Halloween. I love Halloween. I love like I love slashers. I love like stuff like Freddy. I like Jason. I like stuff like Michael Myers. I can't do like really disturbing like. I seen Hereditary for that reason. I heard so disturbing where I'm like, yo, no, I'm out. Or
yeah, Ari Aster's kind of like canceled. I feel. Or...
You don't want to see his new Western based in COVID? Sorry.
I love Pedro. Maybe just for Pedro.
It's a great
he's
cast,
like so baby girl in it.
Pedro, Emma Stone.
I love Emma Stone.
Who else is it?
It's just like
Austin Butler.
They're just doing the curse again.
And Joaquin Phoenix, yeah, probably. Joaquin Phoenix. That's a great cast. That's a great cast.
Yeah. Anyways.
But fuck Bo's Afraid.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, it was good. It kind of gave Midsummer vibes a little bit, just kind of like in the sense of, surrounded by like a different culture. Like they're all these like Italian nuns. She doesn't understand them, and they do things like kind of like differently, like they like hurt themselves because like Jesus like died on the cross type vibe, and it's just like a little bit, it's very dark. Like the religion aspect of it is like kind of sinister. And maybe like trigger warning if like you're Catholic, maybe it wouldn't be like for you.
Not their Sunday service.
But
wait a second.
It was good. Like I really liked it. I think it was like, it's not like a new idea what happened. It's definitely something that's been done, but I didn't feel like it was like, oh, I've seen this before. Like I was
good.
still like entertained.
It was fresh.
And yeah, and I mean it's also like the age-old time of just like, suppressing women, right? So just a lot of crazy shit happens to her, and it kind of makes me like angry. She does a scream in it. She's officially a scream queen, okay?
Nice.
She does a scream in it that I'm like, damn, like it was really good. So Miss Sydney Sweeney, like she deserves those flowers, like for sure. I give it a 3.5, but low key, like thinking back on it, I would like even like go to 4.
That's good. It can't sat with you a bit longer, and you're like, oh, you kind of like. That's good.
Totally.
When a movie can do that, you can sit with it, you kind of like it more. I'm just like, it's a perfect movie. Like, oh yeah, like I'm liking it more the more I think about it.
Yeah.
Well, upside, you're like, fuck that movie.
Yeah, because me and my friend, like, we're either gonna see this or we're gonna see the other one, The First Omen, and they are very similar.
It's coming out next week.
Like they have the same like kind of like vibes, I feel. But she was like, I looked up the showtime and this one was shorter, which is so real. And I'm glad I saw this one.
I think First Omen comes out April 5th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's a Fox Disney movie. I don't know. That's kind of worries me. But I was hearing good things out of the review. Did you see this thing? Again, I know it's more the visual point of the show. It's pretty cool. So they had the red carpet in LA last week, and they had it at the same theater the original Omen premiered years ago.
Oh, it's a remake?
Look, it's like there's like that premiere. So I don't know go to the Instagram page for Fox Disney or whatever, and you can find like the first Omen like 48 years ago, like back when at the Westwood Village, cool theater, and then cut to years later the premiere again.
Yeah, that's really cool. So is it the same people that did it?
I don't know actually. I wonder if it's another requel, the reboot sequel that Scream 5 said about, like Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or what's the last one we just watched? The requel. Not Halloween. It was the Halloween, but Scream, Halloween. Something else did that recently. Exorcist Believer. That movie that I liked a lot, everyone else hated, but teach their own. The First Omen. I was hearing good things about it at the premiere. People were like, it was pretty spooky, so.
I will go see it.
Yeah, it's a sequel.
Oh, nice.
It's another requel. It's a reboot / sequel.
Nice.
So that comes out next week.
Well, then we can just talk about like what other movies we want to see.
One thing though, are you glad you saw it in theaters?
Yeah.
Is it worth seeing? Paying for permission?
I mean, support your local theater. That's what we say on the pod, right?
Theatrical.
Theatrical releases. We live, laugh, love. If I had to pick, like if you're like balling on a budget, you're just gonna see one, I would see Love Lies Bleeding in theater. Yeah. Well, you didn't see it, but.
Well, no, getting to your point earlier, do you think the same reaction you would have gotten if you saw Immaculate at home, or do you think the theater actually gave the experience of like, whoa, spooks?
That's true. Yeah, because like it's easier to like. I feel like it's always scarier when you're in the theater because it's like, I don't know, that you're like outside of your house and then it's louder and the screen's bigger. So maybe if you want a good spook.
A good spook, the good spooks. No, I'm glad you saw it in theaters too. And it was really cool, I know, because I don't think there was I wasn't invited to this one, but Neon is very similar to A24 of like they're very low budget, independent studios, which was really cool. They had to kind of bring back, like, kind of like do a lot more stuff, like of like just like lower budget, wide release to a degree movies. And I'm glad they got a theatrical release. We're going with this. It was cool too that I told you this last week that Sydney Sweeney hosted screenings in an actual church.
Oh,
Like in New York and LA, a few other
like
places. Like, so a lot of people like press or critics.
So cool.
I know.
I would have been like so freaked out, but it would have been so cool.
The vibe, the photos are really cool. The videos are cool. She goes, "Welcome to your Sunday service."
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
like, amen.
She's so cute. Yeah.
And she's on a roll now. Her movies back to back, man. She's kind of like with Anyone But You, grossed $200 million. This movie's doing pretty well for the most part. I think word of mouth for both these movies will do a good job. And I think, again, if they're given the actual long theatrical window, like they'll be here for a while. But I think these two might go to streaming sooner than later, unfortunately, because box office wise, they're not doing good. But it gives me hope that movies like this will still go in theaters. Upcoming. But to your point earlier, you said talk about our favorite things we're looking forward to upcoming. I'm gonna go first. What are you hyped for movie wise?
Let me look at my watch list on Letterboxd.
Godzilla vs Kong. No, I'm kidding.
To our friend Evan's dismay, we are not
Love you,
excited
Evan.
to see that. Well, there was like a ton of trailers before Immaculate. So Abigail, that looks really good.
Can't wait.
She's like a killer vampire ballerina baby.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It looks like totally kind of like, I don't know, what does it remind you of? Like it's like kind of like satirical, but like also like horror. Like I don't know.
It's the guys who did Ready or Not, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah.
Same writers, same
And
directors.
Scream.
Scream 5 and 6.
Yes.
So same dudes.
So we know it's good because
I can't wait.
we love the Screams that have come out.
Well, to be fair, we didn't like Scream 5 when we first saw it. You know, we're kind of like,
But
we'll
then-
watch it again. It kind of grew on us.
But you know why? I feel like it could have been. We didn't see it in theater. Theaters.
True. We were playing on it. Then you were in school still, and it was kind of just like we got busy. It kind of just came and went too.
Did we watch it when we had COVID or no?
No, we watched it like at my house one day randomly.
Oh, but yeah, I don't know. The vibe wasn't right.
But I think seeing the new one in theaters last year, we were like, yeah, this is probably why. Probably enhanced our.
Yeah.
And it was fresh because it was in New York. It was like a different kind of setting. It was in horror. What was it called? What's the town that they're in? Greensboro. No, I forgot the name of the town. I'll probably get butchered in the comments now. You don't know the Scream town? I don't.
Girl,
Abigail looks dope. Going to screening on that April 17th.
Abigail looks dope. I love a vampire movie. I love a vampire romance more. I don't think anyone's falling in love with this baby vampire ballerina. Alas, Angus Cloud is gonna be in it.
Oh, his last role, right?
I don't know. That we know
I
of.
think it's his last movie. I think it's the last. Woodsboro, California is the
Right.
team scout. Screaming town and Scream, jeez.
The Screamin' Town.
Screaming town.
Yeah, looks good. I love Catherine Newton as well.
Your twin.
Slay. So excited about that. There was another neon movie that looked good called Cuckoo
Oh, with Hunter Schafer.
with Miss Hunter Schafer.
Also neon.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was another neon one.
Oh, sorry.
That looked like just kind of like weird and spooky, and I'm down for that. I'm always down for a horror movie, low key. There's like few that I'm like not. I don't know. Like I have an open mind about horror. The Watchers with M. Night Shyamalan's daughter created it, right?
Yep.
That looks cool. I'd love to see Miss Dakota Fanning back in the game. We missed her.
She was good in Equalizer 3.
Okay, Equalizer 3. Let's go. What else? This one's still out. Or maybe it's not. Driveway Dolls.
Yeah, it kind of came and went. It didn't do too well.
I want to see that still.
Yeah, I'm bummed missing the screen for that.
That I still want to see. Challengers, Zendaya.
Yes.
Yeah, what about you?
Challengers I'm looking forward to. Well, I said this in my review, my last episode, that we're seeing Monkey Man next week. And I'm so
Nice.
hyped for that. Me and Nick are like really hyped for that. 'Cause we love Jordan Peele's producing it. Dev Patel was just a really good actor. I think he's getting his flowers finally as a performer. He's great in Lion. Movies makes me cry every time I see it. Abigail Plumber, like you said, the Scream director's doing it. It's an original studio horror movie.
Nice.
I'm so happy for Universal to be back in this movie. I'm hoping it's good. If it's sad, it's gonna be a really sad reaction out of seeing that movie, but I'm hyped. Civil War, I'm on the fence about. I want to see it, but to me, like, I'm not the biggest Alex Garland fan. I've only seen Ex Machina. I've seen the movies he's written, like Dread or 20 Days Later. I know we were on our way seeing Men, I think, and someone said don't see that movie. So we saw something else, I think. We saw like another movie, I forgot what we saw. But like we were kind of turned off by it. I heard Annihilation is very not polarizing, but very divisive. Like you either hate it or you love it. I own it on Blu-ray. I still haven't watched it yet.
Is that like an alien one?
Yes, alien horror, and Natalie Portman's a great cast. Oscar Isaac, what's her name? She was in Hateful Eight. I'm blanking on her name.
Little Prince.
Little Prince. Oh my gosh. Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was in Fast Times at Richmond High, great actress. So look, I'm looking for. I heard really good things about it out of South by Southwest, but same thing with Roadhouse. Like the reviews were great after the movie, and they went down. It's kind of like the vibe of being at a screening or like a premiere. You're just like, this is the best thing ever. And next day, everyone says this movie sucks. Like Argyle or Exorcist Believer, me and Nick were like, this is the best movie ever. People hate this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like the vibe of like, I don't know, like seeing a movie, you're like, damn, that was really good, and then like going on like something like Letterboxd and being like, wow, everyone hated it.
Yeah, it's very like, oh.
Because I just watched Miller's Girl, and like the reviews were like not slay. Like
divisive.
people were like, I don't know, like I don't know, it just wasn't like the best movie ever, but like I liked it. Like I had a fun time with it.
Well, a funny story actually. So the day I was at bowling and my dad was like, did y'all rent Miller's Girl today? I was like, yeah, Zayda did. He goes, I was 10 minutes in, I fell asleep. He goes, I checked out. I was just tired.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, Zayda rented it.
Oh, dang. He could have. It's only there for 48 hours.
Yeah, he goes, you have some time left, whatever. He goes, what is this? And he put it on. He just said, I checked out.
Yeah. It's definitely like quiet. I don't know. I like
Slow
the
burn.
vibe. Yeah. It's definitely slow. It's more like intellectual. One of my friends like was like, I think this is my favorite movie ever. I was like, okay, girl, and I give it a 4, so I'm good.
It's a fresh rating. Like you two, yeah. So Civil War, like I'm interested about it, but we'll see. You know, again, it's you can either do a political movie like that either really well or really stupid. You're just like, okay, I'm out.
Right. You can either do Purge election year or
or the Forever Purge. You're like, oh, okay, we're out of ideas now.
It looks like, I told you when I saw the preview, that the idea, like the concept, like what type of American are you? Like, oh, like that's kind of spooky, right?
Yeah.
But, like, it could be executed so poorly. Like, easily executed very poorly.
That's the thing with his movies. Like, from what I've seen from his movies, like, I think Ex Machina is a very well-made movie. I do like how it was shot. It was very kind of like tech sci-fi-ish. But I'm hearing things about his other movies that's very like, you either hate them or you love them.
Right.
I'm just like, I want to go in like a kind of confidence about it.
But there's an audience for everyone. Like,
absolutely.
I feel like not everything has to be like palatable. Like,
for sure.
If he's like kind of like a weird indie guy, then whatever. Like, who cares?
Well, he hasn't had. I mean, to your point, Ex Machina has been loved a lot, but like I said, with Annihilation, and then with Men, they were just like either, oh, this movie's great, or fuck this movie. So it just So, but to your point, you have to be like, you know, one-sided. It can be very like, hey, the beauty of film is very subjective. You can be like, either like it, right? Very good point.
Yeah.
Challengers, I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah.
The Zendaya girl. Hopefully, again, the guy making this movie too. I didn't like. What's the one with Cannibal?
Fresh?
No. Armie Hammer. The one with they also douche boy that I can't stand. Chalamet.
Dude, I have no idea.
Oh, Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name.
Same director is doing Challengers.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I couldn't stand him. I can't stand Timothy Chalamet. I can't stand Timothy Chalamet. I cannot stand Timothy Chalamet. I was like, by the time I'm like, get him out, and then after Armie Hammer being Cannibal, I was like, okay, I'm out.
You know, everyone has different,
taste, literally.
taste. Like some people are we're vegetarians. Like, I don't know. I think you're being really insensitive to that community. However,
but
Call Me by Your Name. I didn't love it either, but I think the book is like supposed to be very beautiful. I didn't read the book, and the vibes were there. Like it was kind of.
It was shot very well.
That was like, ooh, the vibes are there, but like the substance wasn't like my favorite.
Lacking.
But maybe like I wasn't the right audience for it because like it's one of my friends' like favorite movies. So it's like whatever.
I think it's really well made.
Yeah,
I just you know my thing with Chalamet. I just can't stand him.
Yeah, we will never be watching Wonka.
I'll watch it because of other people, but I'll be like, boo, boo, boo to this man.
You don't like him, you want to listen to him sing? That is a crazy statement.
I want to laugh. I want to laugh. I love Dune, but every time I'm just like, oh, you give me the ick.
Oh, yeah, you love Dune.
I love Dune 2.
Yeah, I have to see Dune 2.
It's good.
Is that what it's called? Dune 2?
Dune Part 2.
Oh, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2. It's the end of the book, and then Dune Messiah will be
and that's
third
like a separate
movie.
book.
Yeah, it's a whole different story. So the Dune Part 1, Part 2 is the entire book.
Right.
And there's like 8 books in the franchise or series. I'm just like,
oh, really?
damn, like motherhood, like sisterhood, wormhood.
Oh, crazy.
But it's kind of funny. The guy who did Challengers, and that's funny. His next movie he did I think after Call Me by Your Name, a movie about cannibals, starring Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, lol.
I heard that was graphic, and I was like, nope.
The drama.
But Challenge I'm looking forward to. I love a good sports kind of like movie, and I like Zendaya. I think Zendaya's kind of like coming.
We're there for Zendaya, and yeah, we're there for Zendaya with 2 men? Question mark? Yes.
I like the guy. The dude was in West Side Story. I thought he was pretty good.
Okay.
My man, what's his name? Mike something. So looking forward to that. And also the one I'm looking forward to, long ass name. The we saw the trailer for last week. It's the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Oh. It's kind of like it's Guy Ritchie kind of snatched, going back in his element. Matthew Vaughn kind of vibe, like got Kingsman kind of like gentleman-esque, kind of like
men
elite dudes with Isaac Gonzalez, who I like a lot, is in it too. So it was kind of fun. I like Henry Cavill, I like Guy Ritchie, I like Alan Richardson, I like Isaac Gonzalez. So I'm hoping it's good. Again, no movie that can be either awesome, it could be really like this movie's stupid. But because Guy Ritchie's been kind of a hit or miss with movies in the past. Like I love Gentleman. I heard Aladdin wasn't that good. I still haven't seen it, but I watched Aladdin, live action Aladdin, where it was kind of like
Oh.
It's kind of mid. So I guess here for myself, obviously. So yeah, that, and then the one I want to see with you before it leaves is the Devil one, the Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Because everyone's saying this movie is like crazy good, and I'm hoping too is that we get see it, or like, yeah, the hype was real, and if not, we'll be like, oh, like it was too overhyped for us. I mean, I'm kind of worried of like, is it gonna be too much hype for us, or is it gonna be like, okay, we believe the hype? Because I can go either way. I can be like, yes, or I can be like, overhyped.
Well, yeah, the trailer, it looked very like aesthetically like flat. You know what I mean by that? Like not very like dimensional. Like it looked like an old movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if
like
that's
that.
gonna be the whole time, because I sometimes have a hard time like watching stuff like that.
It's crazy. I heard it's crazy good.
Like I literally can't watch like black and white, which is so bad.
Yeah, that's more of a gimmick nowadays too. Look, I'm using black and white or 4:3. It's more of like you're kind of being pretentious.
Yeah, but if it's like not like that, like if that was just like how the trailer is, then like slay.
Also I like the guy doing it. It was Samachin, who I've been, he got his first big break. Also, it's a really good dude from what I heard. A really nice guy, very kind of like happy-go-lucky, kind of just like really good, positive guy. Mm-hmm. His first big break was Dark Knight, his first movie ever. Nice. And with Batman, it's a really cool scene. It's a cool thing. Then he was in also in Prisoners. He was in Blade Runner 2049. He was in a lot of Denis Villeneuve films and Dune. I'm glad he's getting his flowers too. He's really good. Working actor's been around for a while, and he's a really good actor as well. I'm hearing amazing things about it. Nice. And it's a guy who produced Barbarian. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in by that kind of soul.
We love Barbarian. If Barbarian has 0 fans, we are dead.
I want Disney, please make the Blu-ray. Like I'm dying. We did so well in theaters. Give us the Bluray. The home release. I want a physical media copy of it.
We'll be Disney stans. We'll go buy an annual pass.
Oh man, you would hate Joel's takes on the show. Joel episode always
on Barbarian or on Disney.
On Disney.
No, I know he doesn't like Disney.
Yeah.
I don't like whatever. Disney's Disney.
Whatever. Nick,
they're really powerful. I don't really want to say too much.
That's what Nick said. Nick was like, "Hey man, I still want a job."
Yeah,
We do too,
Seriously.
Disney. Come on now, hook us up.
We love Disney. In conclusion,
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, then we'll probably do our summer movie season upcoming too, so we'll bring you back on for that too, because a lot of
sure.
summer Ends With Us is coming out this summer.
Wicked.
That's Thanksgiving.
Oh wow.
We got ways to go for that.
JK.
We got ways to
Not
go for that.
Wicked.
It's gonna be a harsh summer waiting for that movie.
We'll wait every day.
I'm looking forward to it. But Zayda, thank you so much for coming back to the show.
Yeah.
You are our first returning guest 3 times now.
Nice.
So you beat Ray for our returning guest. So we
Okay.
want to thank you for coming back to the show.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Would you want to plug yourself, where they can find you, where they can find your awesome podcasts?
Yes, my podcast is called Well Read Woman. It is only on Spotify right now. Our Instagram is Well Read Woman Pod. Yeah, that's where you can listen if you like the other type of physical media, books.
Books.
Yeah.
It's a great podcast, guys. Give it a listen. It is like how we're really passionate about movies and shows. You hear from me, Joel, and Nick, and Moses, but the ways that kind of like conducts her shows are very good listens on Spotify only too, which is kind of cool. It's Spotify exclusive, kind of like the Joe Rogan before he went back to Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
That's one thing I tell you. Do you see that? So the movie, the Devil movie, made $666,000,
Shut up.
all sixes, on opening day.
That's scary.
Or opening weekend, whatever. And people were like, whoa. And it's on Variety, I think, or Hollywood Reporter. Like, it made all sixes.
Yeah, that's spooky.
And people were like, what the fuck? So it's kind of like, as good marketing for the movie.
Yeah.
As really good marketing. And it's a small release, only 2-week window now. So
Right.
you miss it, you miss it. So
go see it next week.
next week release next week, yeah. So Zayda, once again, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it. And always, guys, you can find me, my personal page at The Young Jones on Instagram. Also on Twitter, or X is it called now, Capri_Sun, SON. And you can find our show socials on Instagram and TikTok, all at Midway Avenue Productions. And remember, guys, our giveaway, Amazon gift card and a mystery bundle of 5 movie posters. It's really cool.
Nice.
Well, we got to hit our 200 ratings by May 1st. So help us hit our goal. And as always, guys, we'll see you at the movies.